Now we are discussing about services. In that today we are discussing about independent tour guide. What is independent tour guide? What is an important independent tour? Rather than being escorted by the same tour leader throughout your entire journey, you will be met by local guides in each destination. Next point is, how do I become a private tour guide? Step 1 is how to become a tour guide. Step 1 is determine whether you actually want this job. You actually want this job and have the skills necessary. Step 2 is determine the kind of guiding job you want. Step 3 is get training and licenses if necessary. Step 4 is get a travel guide job. And step 5 is start working and never stop learning. And the other most important thing is tour guides should know the places and historic years and the person's names accurately. Then it will give, it may be a shortcut description also. You should have very accurate years, not by I'm saying dates and months, year, particularly years and person's names, so they should clearly spell out. And the places, the significance of place, you should say in 2 to 3 lines. Then it will become a very good big attraction to the customers also for going by tour guide. And next point is what are the 4 types of tour guide? The professional tour guide. The professional tour guide is the most common type of tour guide, and it is the primary type most people think of when thinking about a tour guide. The private tour guide, the academic tour guide, the freelance tour guide, and the local tour guide. Next point is what are the different types of tour guides. Driver guide, also called a city guide. The tour guide drivers while guiding. Community tour guide, local guide. Staff guide, tour guide who works in a travel agency. Freelance guide, tour guide who is not connected with a travel agency and paid per trip. And next point is what is an example of independent travel. If you plan a trip to Eastern Europe on your own and arrange all the train tickets, hotels and flights yourself, that is independent travel. So independent traveling is also a big problem, because if you know that particular place, you can go independently, you can book a ticket and you can book hotels and flights also. But if you are not familiar, means it will become a problem to you. Everything will be expensive without knowing the information. So be careful by going as independent travel. What is the highest salary of a tour guide? The tour guide salaries typically range between 18,000 to 55,000 a year. The average hourly rate for tour guides is $16 per hour. Next point is what is the income of a tour guide? The tour guide salary in India ranges between 0.2 lakhs to 8.3 lakhs with an average annual salary of 3.2 lakhs. And next point is what are the 5 roles of tour guide? Undertaking research and planning tours, preparing and giving presentations, offering sightseeing advice, organizing and leading excursions, problem solving, translating and interpreting, transporting and accompanying tourists. And the language problem is also most important, because if you are going in European areas, means if English is the common to all over the world, so he will speak in English. But if it is in India, means Hindi is the primary language to almost all the people of India. So he should know Hindi. Likewise, suppose in local area like Andhra Pradesh or something, means he should know Telugu very well. But it increases the familiarity and it is touching the customers. Even if you say in English also, Telugu people also can understand very well, but some people, elders, may not understand it. Those things also the tour guide should understand. Next point is what are the 5 stages in tour planning. If we think about the traveler's journey in making terms, and more especially for accommodation marketing, we will talk about the stages of travel, which include dream, plan, research, book, experience, and share. And next point is fit is a person who travels completely independently and free of tour operator and travel agency assistance. In other words, a fit manages and arranges the itinerary according to their needs and preferences. And next point is how do I become a successful tour guide? That is, the 10 tips are there. Those are face the crowd, not what you are talking about. Be personal, tell a story, got moving right away. Don't worry about being perfect. Get help to get organized. End on time. Limit your number of speakers. And next point is what is the salary of tour manager in India? That is between 0.5 to 9.0 lakhs, 9 lakhs. So how do tour guides do on daily basis? Tour guides undertake research and plan tours, provide sightseeing advice and organize excursions. They transport and accompany their guests to their tourist posts in specific destinations. They are expected to be experts on the historical background and culture of an area. And next point is what are the 10 processes of tour planning? Study, recognition and preparation, setting of objectives, survey of existing data, implementation of new surveys, analysis of secondary and primary data, initial policy and plan formulation and recommendations, implementation. What is itinerary in tourism? A travel itinerary is a schedule of events relating to planned travel, generally including destinations to be visited at specified times and means of transportation to move between those destinations. And next point is what is the life of a tour manager? Their job is to make everything run smoothly, which usually means arranging travel plans, coordinating with venues, meaning managing money, facilitating media interactions, and scoping out local services at each tour stop. And next point is what is the hardest task of a tourist guide officer? As a tour guide, you will face new challenges every day. One of the hardest parts of your job may be answering questions. Unlike a speech that can memorize, you will not always know that what questions people will ask. However, you can anticipate certain types of questions and certain ways the questions will be asked. And next point is what are the 5 components of a tour cost? This cost includes porterage charges and at airports and railway stations, tips at hotels or airports, entrance fees, insurance premiums, gifts and welcome dinners. These are the informations. This is the information regarding independent tour guide. Independent tour guide also should take certain risk regarding hotels, accommodations, and all these also. While going in tour also, you should say that our destiny will reach in 15 minutes. So if you take tea and tiffins and snacks here, it is something cheap. If you go inside to the destination, it is very crowd will be there and cost also will be doubled. If you explain those things, all travelers will take happily and they can save some money, and as well as it is a saving of time and location also to you very much. So that is the information I want to say with you. Wishing you all the best.